and welcome to House and Health. I am your host, Mary Agiobo. Today, we examine a growing environmental and public health concern affecting many residential communities across the country. We have the case of open defecation, indiscriminate waste disposal, and the dangerous impact of human waste pollution on health and health. From unpleasant surroundings, we move to disease outbreaks, blocked drainage systems, contaminated water sources, and unhealthy living conditions. Poor sanitation, they all continue to threaten the well-being of residents, especially in densely populated areas. Our focus today is titled Dirty Environment, Dangerous Living, and Human Waste and the Threat to Health and Health. When we have dirty environments coming from human waste, just think the harm it can cause to our health. You see, people don't even take note of how this can affect their health. They don't take note of the implication of their health in regards human waste in residential areas. We find people defecating, peeing in front of people's compound, people's buildings, people's fences. They go to a corner and they urinate there. They go to a corner and they defecate there. In fact, sometimes in front of people's store, they do all these things, affecting their health, causing different kind of illnesses for them. Children could even be exposed to different kind of respiratory illnesses. There was a report about a trader that defecated and dumped his feces very close to a store, and it ruined a child's health. You know, we have so many cases like this, and it's not just about, you know, some people do this because it's not even in their house, but you don't even know. Some people go to their compound. In their compound, they would have toilets in their compound, but instead of them to do this, enter their house and do this in their house, they do it outside the compound. All these things are dangerous to the health. And before we dive fully into today's topic, we'll be going on a very short break. When we return, we will dive into this topic and see how we can find a solution to this human waste pollution and how it damages our health. Please stay with us.
Are you getting ready for another big one? The largest housing show in Africa. 2 decades of relentless exhibition and conference. The 20th edition of the Africa International Housing Show, happening from the 13th to 18th of July 2026 at the prestigious Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. This premier event is Africa's largest housing and construction expo, attracting over 50,000 attendees in Africa and beyond, thereby giving room for developers, construction giants, financiers, home interiors, mortgage and microfinance banks, drawing from about 21 different countries of the world. Get ready to be part of history.
Welcome back to House and Health, a show where we discuss many ways in which we can manage our health in our living conditions, take care of our health in our various homes. And as I was saying before we went on our short break, I spoke about our topic, which is human waste and the threat to health and health. Human waste and the threat to health and health. Joining us in the studio is a public health expert who will help us understand the causes, dangers, and possible solutions to this growing sanitation crisis. So many people don't pay attention to this crisis of how people's breathing are even ruined, all in the name of waste, human waste being disposed in residential areas. She is going to give us our insights and our thoughts, and also teach us on how we can work with this terrible housing condition. Welcome to the program, Ms. Ndudi Onyekachi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Very fantastic and beautiful. It's nice to have you on our show today.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for having me here once again.
It's great to have you here.
And
so what is your opinion about open defecation in area? When you see people defecating or urinating in residential homes where people live, what's your experience in that aspect?
Well, my opinion, it shouldn't be done. You shouldn't be found defecating or urinating in a public environment. One, because it's unhygienic. It's not right. It's not good. It's not proper. It's not the proper way of life. it shouldn't be done at all. And then when we see people do those, I think they are not properly educated, or they don't, or they've just chosen to just, you know, ignore the fact that this is wrong and still do it. They know it's wrong, but still do it anyway. While some are just ignorant, they don't know if it's wrong or right. They just want to relieve themselves.
They want to relieve themselves. So how serious is this problem?
Well,
Like, because it's polluting so many places. So how serious is this problem?
It's very serious, because when we come down to health, matters of health, it causes some diseases and sickness. We could start with diarrhea. Start with diarrhea, we could start with cholera, we could start with typhoid. Those things are the things caused by, the major reasons are these dirty environments. Because imagine someone living next to a place, or your wall, your fence is where people regularly dump their urine, their feces and all. It obstructs your air, the air around you, oxygen. It doesn't give you this clean oxygen. It doesn't filter the oxygen anymore, because now you're not just inhaling oxygen, you're also inhaling the things they've dumped at your doorstep. So it's alarming. It's
alarming. Okay, now, so with human waste in living environments, many people see this as normal. If you find yourself in crowded places, you see someone walking up to a particular spot, the person urinates there, the person leaves, no one complains. Another person goes to that same spot, urinates there, walks away. Another person to that same spot, that place could actually be a residential area where people live, where people's shops are. So this is a serious issue, but many people just see it as normal. So how can they actually find ways to, how should they show more concern for themselves?
Okay, so when you use the word normal, it actually has a bracket for the people that's normal falls in, because it's the men who pee in public. It's the men who could just walk up right next to you and pee, then go. And once a man says, "Oh, you can pee there," he doesn't even have to see. He just needs a corner to just pee. For women, we don't outrightly pee here. We don't do that, because we are more open and we are more okay. We are more body cautious of okay, STI, this infection, that nobody wants to. But the men, they're not open as we are, so they could walk there.
Yeah.
God bless you. So when you say normal, you should fall in the bracket of men, because the problem we have is them urinating. And I think the solution is not just about writing on your walls and do not urinate here, do not do this here, or if you do this, swear. That is not the solution. I think the solution is actually for the community to come together as a whole, as one, and then say, okay, we do not want people urinating here. We do not want people dumping refuse here, and we do not want feces here too. We don't want any form of waste around us. Let's have a designated spot where all waste should go to. So with that, now you are a police, I am a police, my neighbor is also a police. So if my neighbor catches me dumping refuse or body or human waste in where we say that wasn't agreed on, we could actually fight the person.
Yes.
And you are watchful, I am also watchful. So now we are looking out for anybody that is dumping refuse and human waste in a particular spot. So if you see a man peeing, nobody cares if he's this person's husband or this person's brother. We just say, why are you peeing there? So it's for the community to come together and be their own police for a better environment. Because with time, if people get to dump refuse and human waste in a particular spot, let's start with the urine, for example.
Okay.
The male urine, it starts eating out the spot, especially if it's a wall. So imagine it's your fence or the wall of your shop. It eats it out, and with time, it will break. That wall becomes so soft that with one kick, it's down.
Yeah, so you're saying that all those broken walls could be the cause.
That's 99% the reason why.
And you see, this is another issue, because some people, some persons, some house owners, landlords, or even people that rent spaces and buildings, they complain about the blocks not being strong. not knowing that this could actually be the cause of
The blocks, yes, the blocks might not be strong, the block might be strong. You can't tell, but it's already a structure. So if you continue dumping urine there, what happens? It softens.
Yes, it softens. It softens. So now you mentioned disease initially. A lot of people fall sick. You mentioned diarrhea. You mentioned a particular illness. So which diseases are most common? Because like so many people don't know that this actually affects their health. I know some people are scared of talking. When you see someone doing something you don't like around your house, even if you are worried that your kids might the health of your kids are at risk, or even your own health is at risk, but you are scared, you're like, if I talk to this person might get angry and all. When people have that fear, they need to know that this thing you are not talking about is affecting you. Because when you fall sick, you spend money, you go for treatment, you take medications. So what diseases are most common? If they find out and if they know, I think they'll be more cautious of this.
I don't think anybody should put his or her neighbor's feeling before his health. It's not done.
I love that. I know that most Nigerians are scared of expressing themselves.
No, you don't put, especially when it comes to health matter, you don't put anyone above yourself. So when awareness needs to be created, we need to tell them, okay, this can cause cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, and we keep talking about mosquitoes. Imagine you looking at the left side of your house and then you're seeing one pile of dirty, and then you turn to the right, you see your fence is half broken, and you see multiple men turned your fence to public toilets.
Exactly.
And then when you look to your right or your backyard, you see your gutter packed with black water. It's not moving. It's just stagnant. These things cause a lot. It causes a lot, and I think people should be aware that all this environmental dirty, environmental waste affects more than just your environment. It affects your health too.
Like and even the cholera you mentioned, it even kills. Cholera is one of the
every. I like to say no small sickness, because the littlest thing, okay, I'm just having malaria. People die from
kills.
Or you
Yes.
say, okay, I'm just having small boil in my eye. That headache will still kill you. Headache kills. So I think we should take our health more seriously by starting with our environment. Make sure it's clean enough for you to actually say, okay, I know if I get sick now, it's not from my environment.
You're still watching House and Health, and this idea of human waste and the threat to house and health is actually a great topic, because I have learned a whole lot from this, and I hope you have also learned something too. You need to put your health into consideration and ignore not offending anybody. Anything that is in your environment that you're not comfortable with, you should be able to speak out, because your health and you and your family come first. We will continue our discussion after this short break. Do stay with us.
Are you ready to take your business to the global market? Do you want to explore new markets, build powerful partnerships, meet investors, and close new deals? Then get ready for Africa's largest housing and construction gathering, the Africa International Housing Show, AIHS 2026, where developers, investors, construction companies, building materials manufacturers, policymakers, and the industry leaders from across Africa and around the world converge. This is where business happens, partnerships are built, and opportunities are unlocked. Showcase your brand, make sales, expand your network, and connect to Africa's fastest growing housing market. Join us 13th to 18th July 2026 at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. Africa International Housing Show, where Africa's housing future meets opportunity. Register today.
Welcome back to House and Health, and if you are just joining us, we were discussing human waste and its effects and threats to house and health, and we've been having our guests giving us our insights and her thoughts, sharing and knowledge with us on how we can take control of our own environment, of where we reside. And I must say that I've learned a whole lot starting from the beginning of this conversation, and we still have more things to talk about. And now that you're joining us, you can as well learn a lot from our conversation. Now, I want to ask this question: how does poor sanitation affect the overall quality of housing and community living?
Well, I think aside from the popular problem of rents and lack of housing and all, I think poor sanitation should be top 3 of the problems we face. Because you finally get a house, and then when you go for inspection, you find out the house environment, the streets, is a dump site. That's one. Then when you go into the compound, you discover they don't have the compound doesn't have proper drainage system. Water is just like everywhere. And then when you go into your room or your apartment, you discover the toilet is not properly wired. It's not this, it's not that. You start having to repair 1 or 2 things in the apartment. So that is one. Now coming down to community living, in a community where they have half of the streets is a waste site. Okay, let's take for example the Wumba. You should know Wumba. So there used to be a time where both sides of Wumba, you would see like actual heap of waste by the road, and people pass that road every day, every night. They keep on passing there. So what kind of community is that? The community where people inhale dirty air.
People ignore all these things.
And that same dustbin or dust site, people will go there. They call it short put. They will go there, do short put, urinate and do everything there. Reptiles will grow there. Reptiles will not even grow. Reptiles will gather there.
And that will be like their residence, where they live.
Now you tell me a community like that won't have mosquitoes. They will have mosquitoes. They will have thousands of reptiles in that particular area.
And these reptiles also, they feast on our body, and even the food that we store in our houses. You know, all these things are things that we should really consider. So all these things, apart from bringing out reptiles that eat our food and, you know, do things, what long-term environmental effect does this create?
Well, over time, aside from reptiles, aside the reptiles, aside the whole health issues and all, that particular area begins to smell. It becomes one of those areas where if your car is passing by, you just cover your nose.
Yes.
Why? Because the air around that area isn't okay. Health-wise, it's not nice. So it becomes an area where you're passing by. The moment you just sight the area from afar, you just straight up cover your nose, which is not nice, because people are living in that area and they are inhaling it day in, day out.
You know, let me share something with you. Most times when I'm passing some places, maybe if I'm going somewhere, I'm in a public transport or something, and I'm going somewhere and I perceive this, if it's not urine, is feces, and I'm like, this is, I will look and I will see roofs, or say that people are washing, you see people washing clothes, you know, living, spreading. I'm like, people are living here and this place is smelling like this. How do they cope? Like, their health is really at a very high risk. And like, if I can learn pollution from human waste affect drinking water and food safety? Because now there are people that are actually living like this and they don't even care. They are not concerned. When it comes to the food you consume, some people be like, it's smelling, but I'm not eating it. It's not entering my mouth. So do you think it can also affect food safety? So when they are aware of all these things, they will like take control.
When you say it's not entering
charge.
your mouth, but it's entering your nose.
That's what some people will tell you when you
complain. It's not entering your mouth, good and fine, but you have pores in your body. You have an open nose that you can't actually close, and if you are closing your nose, you are opening your mouth. So if you have, so long you still have these open parts in your body, your nose is open, your pores are open, how won't it affect you?
It will definitely affect you.
You either start suffering from the back-to-back catarrh, you have cough, all these petty things that tend to don't go away, but with time, they become something big. So it's alarming. It's
alarming.
serious.
I remember someone told me that there was a particular place he passes, and when he's passing there, he has to hold his breath. He's forced to hold his breath. And he told me, he said it ponders him that people sit there and buy food and eat. And he was telling me, say he's wondering, like, if I'm passing this place every day to work and it is smelling like this, how are people able to sit here, buy food, eat?
It's not like they do not know. They know, but they've chosen to ignore. At least they'll say, like you said, it's not entering my mouth.
That's what someone
But I think
say.
we need to create an awareness that your nose is open, your skin have pores, your face have pores, your entire body have pores. And through these pores, things can enter your body. And in this environment, there are babies in this environment too.
Children.
And you see children playing around, touching, picking things. You can't stop a child from picking things.
You can't.
But at least you can make the environment neat enough for your child to pick something and you know, okay, if I just wash his hand and that's fine. Because you don't know if your child is going to pick someone else's poo from the floor. So it's something that we really need to come together.
Well, this is actually a problem. I remember speaking to a mother. She was telling me, I think her son was licking sand. And I complained. She told me, no, that by the time she gives him breast milk, the breast milk will take away all the things in the body that is not good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I swear. And I said, well, I don't know what to say about that. She surprised me. She said, when you breastfeed the child, whatever the child has taken in, the milk from the breast will take it out of the body. You see how people can just neglect their health and all those things.
It's a belief that has tended to be existing for a long time. They tell you the breast milk is actually very, very, very beneficial to the baby. So if they tell you the sand this, well, I don't know.
So what message do you have for Nigerians who still practice open defecation in environments?
Well, I would say this. I don't think as a Nigerian, we have a whole lot of things bothering us as citizens of the country. We have a whole lot of things in our head, and you shouldn't want to put health as one of those things. So look out for yourself, look out for your neighbor, look out for your child, look out for your neighbor's child, because if your neighbor has diarrhea, it's going to affect you one way or the other. Why? Because you'll be the one inhaling the whole back and forth journey to the toilet. That's one. And two, take care of yourself, because if your neighbor tends to poo here, poo there around the compound, it's you who will suffer the smell, you suffer the mosquito that will gather if he dumps dirty everywhere. If the compound is dirty, you'll be the one to follow and suffer for what he didn't do. And then when there's a stagnant water around, watch out. You should contribute, come together, clean it up, make it conducive for yourselves and your kids, because we have, aside from health-wise, we have reptiles, we have insects that this thing comes with. So we all need to be careful as Nigerians and prioritize our health first before any other thing. Love your health as much as you love yourself. In fact, your health should come number one.
Your health should come. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth.
Health is everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, poor sanitation is more than an environmental issue. It is something that affects safety, dignity, and the quality of life within residential communities. If you are in an area where there is always the smell due to defecation and urination around those places, you cannot be safe. Health-wise, you can't be safe. And if you're not safe, if you're not feeling safe, or if you're not safe health-wise, there is a problem. Your quality of life is telling, and it will definitely tell on your health. Even if you may feel you are healthy now, but eventually something is going to come up. It will affect you in the nearest future. Dirty environment, dangerous living, and human waste, and the threat to House and Health.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.